Monster Integration by N1. Chapter 441 Rachel. Rachel is not alone. Beside her there was a young man similar age who has battle power slightly weaker than the Rachel. He seemed about a year older than and have a muscled build with a handsome face. These two may be little weaker than three of us, but they are way stronger than the normal rookies of S-Class Guild. Looks like we are not the only one who had come across the lucky chances. Michelle, this is Rachel and Leo. Rachel and Leo, this is Michael, my teammate I talked about. Introduced Sophia. You seem a little familiar, do I know you from somewhere? Rachel asked me as she carefully looked at me, trying to remember where she had seen. 2 years ago you were the leader of our rescue from the space realm that opened in the Green Hills, I said, reminding her where she had seen me most. The realm opened in the Green Hills is not the only place she had seen. We have come across each other many times, especially when I was with Jill and her brother William, but that time I was too weak to be noticed by her. Oh, that is why you seemed so familiar, said Rachel, clearly still not remembering me, but as I told her about that incident, the value in her eyes have lessened a bit, probably thinking how could weakling she rescued 2 years ago be strong as her. Seeing that I did care much as she will soon my real power and will come to the realization on her own. Let's go register soon, we will have 2 more guilds register too, said Sophia, and we all nodded. Enter the Silver Butterfly. As I entered inside the guild, I got some strange gazes. I was confused for a few seconds before understanding the reason. The reason was that the Silver Butterfly was just all-women guild, only women can be its members, so seeing men inside the guild is quite strange. The registration process is finished within the few minutes, and after that, we ordered the hover car and went to the Black Cloud, and finishing registering we finally went to our guild. It would be quite nice if this registering could be done remotely, so we would have to go around the guild manually, but for reason, it is not, and now we personally doing it. Soon we fished the registering and went toward the city gates at our highest speed. We have had already wasted near an hour in registering, we will have to make up for that in our speed. It is a good thing that no one in our team is slow, and we soon crossed the outpost's gates in just a few minutes. We are going to Black Grass Prairie, everyone knew that, right? Asked Sophia as we crossed the gate. Yes, everyone said in unison. Black Grass Prairie is the biggest mid-level hunting ground. It is so big that 10 to 15 normal mid-level hunting ground could be made from it. Not only it is the biggest hunting ground, but it is also most dangerous, but due to its very large size, not all area is dangerous inside it. Some of the areas are comparable to least dangerous mid-level hunting ground. The reasons area is so big because of the black grass is the only area in a continent where black grass is present, and all the area is covered by the black grass is made as Black Grass Prairie hunting ground. The area where we are hunting today have moderate danger. After we access the abilities of all our member, we will decide on the next area to hunt, said Sophia. What she said is right. Currently, I don't think any member of my team has the ability to measure battle ability like me. So, it is quite difficult to accurately access unknown teammates' abilities just by their combat score and their even teamwork. We should hunt in this moderate for 2 days at least before we get a clear idea about our teammates' abilities and developed very basic teamwork before we head into any dangerous area to hunt. That is why I had hoped that my original team would not break, so we could not have to go through this knowing new teammates thing again. There is still some more than an hour before we reach the prairie. We should discuss our battle strategy, said Sophia, and we again nodded and started to stage our abilities and the weapon we use. I know what weapons Sophia and Reina use and also their abilities. I also had an idea about the weapons that Rachel use. She has the mastery over the bow and saber, but from what I have seen 2 years ago, she is more proficient in the bow and only uses saber when she can't use her bow. The weapon used by Leo is quite interesting. He uses a sword, but his sword is quite different than the other sword. It is very long and broad. His sword is taller than him and also broad as Rachel's waist. It is in the true sense a heavy weapon similar to the warhammer used by the Violet Apes. These sorts of heavy weapons require the immense master to use it, as a simple flick of it could kill. Leo had shown the totem artifact he used and said that the totem artifact he had created also similar to the sword he uses. After the introduction of the abilities, we have decided on our battle strategy. The 4 of us, Sophia, Reina, and Leo will attack from the front, while Rachel, who is archer, will attack from rear with her, and she will not interfere in the direct fight of the others unless one needed. As being the archer who was most proficient in gaining killing count, Rachel won't have to worry about not getting enough monsters to harvest the mana crystal. Black grass prairie is not far, Raina said in her Melody's voice as the layers black started to appear in front of us as soon we stood in front of the black grass that is taller than us. Ready? Sophia asked as saying we all are saying yes. Sophia took the step into the grassland in front of us and we followed behind while Rachel was few meters behind us with her bow in her hands. We suddenly stop as Raina lifted her hand up. Raina had the sensory ability so she was given the position of the scout. The sensory ability provided by the killing rule is stronger than Raina but I had not disclosed it. As for the group of grim monsters ahead of use, I had discovered them half a minute earlier than the Raina. There are 10 to 15 monsters in front of us and seeing we have just entered the hunting ground, they should all be elite kernel stage, Raina said, and without wasting any moment we run toward the monsters. To be exact, there are 14 grim race monsters ahead of us and just like Raina had said they all are elite kernel stage and that is why we ran toward them without care as with our current ability elite kernel stage bear no risk, even if they had been double in numbers. Chapter 442 Shower of Crystals I. Soon we saw the 14 grim race monsters ahead us and continue running toward them without care. The grim race monster in front of us is the werewolves, one of the most common grim monster tribes and also the one we are most familiar fighting with. Hearing the sound through the grass the werewolves looked at us and a very big smile appeared on their ugly faces and one did not have to be very smart to read the meaning behind their ugly smile. They are probably thinking that the food itself is walking into their mouths but they will soon know that we are the food but Reaper with the sharp scythe that will kill them and then harvest them. Seeing us coming they vigilantly summoned their totem spirit and leaped toward us. I have to say the grim race monsters in the mid-level hunting ground are little smart compared to the dumb ones in the low-level hunting ground. When they see the enemies coming toward them, they will first summon their totem spirit before attacking their opponent, no matter what the strength of their enemies is. Friends kill them and we'll have an early lunch, shouted one of the werewolf as they lunged at us. I wanted to laugh seeing how wrong their thoughts are. In front of twins and me, they are akin to chickens now. Die you, weakling! Shouted one of the werewolves that attacked swung its claws at me. There are 3 werewolves attacking me. The strongest one is attacking from the front while the other 2 from the left and right. Chi chi chi. I covered my sword with the fire and swung it from left to right. As my sword is drawn the arc, it had produced the faint chi sound 3 times before it went back to my sheath by my waist. Thud thud thud. 3 grim monsters fell on the ground with extreme shock written on their unconscious faces. I had defeated the 3 werewolves with a single strike of mine and I am not only one, but the 2 other people in my team had also done the same, even better. Sophia and Raina had finished their fight in a single move just like mine, it's just that they have beaten the 4 grim monsters. I would have been able to do the same if not for only 3 grim monsters attacking me. While 3 of us finished the fight early, 2 of our team members are still fighting. Leo had already heavily injured the single werewolf he is fighting and should be able to fight within a few seconds. As for Rachel, she is showering the rain of arrows at the 2 werewolves that are running towards her. Looking at the might of her arrows, these 2 werewolves would be dead before they can cross the halfway distance to her. Zip zip. Bam. 10 seconds later, the battle is over. Our team needed less than 30 seconds to finish of the 14 elite kernel stage werewolf. If someone had told a week ago that I will be able to do this, I would have called that person mad and even beaten him bad, but now I am really capable of doing something which a week I would have found it very difficult to do. The elite kernel stage grim race monsters used to take me a minimum of 45 minutes to finish them off, but now they only took less than 4 seconds. I had to guess you guys are powerful but had not to guess you are this powerful, said Rachel as she came closer. By looking at our combat score, she would have got the basic idea about our ability, but the combat score is just number. It is different when one sees the power with one's eye than looking through the numbers. The respect for me which had lessened in her eyes earlier now came back and increased even more. You guys are really powerful. We will have to work very hard to catch up to you guys, said Leo, Raina, and I just smiled at their praise, but Sophia is not one who takes the praise with the grace as she started to boast in front of our new team members. You two didn't believe me when I said elite colonial stage monster is weak as chicken when I told you, now you believe it? Asked Sophia with a boastful laugh. Of course we believe you now, said Leo as he performed the mock bow to Sophia, which made all of us laugh. We should harvest the mana crystal quickly and advance forward, said Reina, to which everyone nodded and started harvesting the mana crystal. The 3 grim monsters in front of me are not dead, they are just unconscious. I could have killed them, but I had kept them alive to harvest more crystals and to do my elemental harvesting experiment. I placed the runic disc on 2 grim monsters while for third, I had charged my red sword with Point Inferno and released at the center of Magic Veins network. Like most times, I had failed this time also, but it is not I have failed completely, I can see the progress I am making. If I continue doing this for 2 months, then I am confident that I will be successful in harvesting elemental mana crystals. What did you guys did right now? Rachel and Leo asked in unison, as like me the sisters also kept the grim monster alive so they could experiment elemental harvesting. Oh this, we are trying to harvest elemental mana crystals, Sophia answered. Oh, I thought only those peak evolvers can learn this. Rachel said, she is not wrong, normally only peak evolvers try something like the elemental harvesting, as they have high control over energy compared to us mid-level evolvers, which makes it quite easy for them learn it compares to us. It is not limited to peak evolvers, it's just that they learn elemental harvesting pretty quickly due to their high control over their energy, while we have to give a lot more time and effort, Sophia explained. Then aren't you guys wasting a lot of mana crystals on the thing that is you are going to learn in the future with the minimal efforts? Rachel asked, clearly confused. What you said is right, we do waste a lot of bodies of grim monster while learning harvesting elemental mana crystals, but if we able to learn it within the few months, then its gain outweighs losses. As you know, 1 elemental mana crystal worth 10 times that of normal mana crystal, explained Sophia as she placed the runic disc on the half-burned body of the grim monster. The gains did outweigh the losses that occur in the practice, Rachel repeated softly while busy in thinking. Sophia does give me some tips about elemental mana harvesting, I will try it with you guys when we hunt next group of grim race monsters, Rachel said with a twinkle in her eyes. She probably did the quick calculation, and seeing it is a very good choice, she had instantly decided to try. Chapter 443 Shower of Crystals 2. I wish I had elemental abilities, you guys, I would have loved to try to, said Leo with regret in his voice. In our team, 4 people have elemental abilities, Sophia and I have the fire ability, Reina has ice while Rachel has wind type ability, only Leo didn't have the elemental ability or comprehended any elemental type rule. You can also harvest the special mana crystal with your strength rule, it's just that you will have to work hard than the rest us to harvest it, I said. There are 3 types of mana crystals, first is normal mana crystals, the second is elemental mana crystals, and last are special mana crystal. The normal ones are the ones we regularly harvest with the help of the runic disc, the elemental one that we are trying to harvest by pumping elemental energy in the grim race monster body, so we could transmute its dark energy to dark elemental energy. The special mana crystals are the mana crystals that did not belong to the elemental category. They can be made using any rule power that is not the elemental rule power, like my killing rule and Leo's strength rule. But harvesting the special mana crystals are 10 times harder than harvesting elemental mana crystals, though the price they offer is also 10 times also. Due to this difficulty, very few mid-level evolvers willing waste their time on harvesting Spequila mana crystal, as they took too many efforts. Let it be, I will think about harvesting special mana crystals when I reach peak of the night stage, said Lead after heard how difficult it is to harvest special mana crystals. Let's get going, we have already wasted more than enough time here, Sophia said. She is right, we have wasted near 15 minutes in this place, we should have left as soon as we had done harvesting the mana crystals. We quickly take all the important things from the grim race monster's husk and advanced forward in the black grass prairie. We encountered the next team of the grim race monsters just after the 10 minutes, and we had finished it within 1 minute and harvested and then within 5 minutes. In this battle, Rachel also left 1 grim monster alive to experiment elemental harvesting on it. Still, it did not take us more than 10 minutes to leave the second battlefield. We are killing and harvesting the grim race monsters like crazy, whatever team of grim monster we saw, we'll kill it whether the team is big or small, it did not matter as long as we saw the grim monsters we will kill it. In just little more than an hour we have killed more than 100 grim monsters but not one of them were able to make me use my fire armor, which was really disappointing, but I am not sad as there is another thing that is making me very happy. And that thing is mana crystals. We are killing grim race monsters like crazy and harvesting them like crazy, that I have a feeling that I am showering in the rain of mana crystals, and I am not the only one to think that. In just a little more than the 3 hours, I alone harvested the 3122 mana crystal, which is little more than a double of what I harvested in the whole day, and it is just we harvesting till late morning as there is more than half a day have remained for our hunt. Sophia even said that we are swimming in the mana crystals, and I couldn't agree more. It feels very good harvesting such a huge amount of the mana crystal and all, but there is no challenge in it. It will not help us raise our strength, Sophia said. I think we should hunt in the area where the Brigadier stage monsters gather. What do you guys say? Sophia asked Rachel and Leo. She didn't have to ask us as she knew we would be fine even if we fight an opponent that is a level higher than the one we are fighting currently. The question is whether Leo and Rachel will agree to that? Leo and Sarah thought for a while before firm expression came over their face as they nodded. We are currently in a moderately dangerous area of black grass prairie where only Colonel stage monster hunt, but if we cross the small river in the west, we will reach the area which is preferred by the Brigadier stage grim race monsters. Most of the team we will encounter will be led by the Brigadier stage elite and normal Brigadier stage monsters as its followers, while we may even encounter the teams that are led by the 1-star elite and elite Brigadier as its followers, Sophia said as she looked at the Leo and Rachel one more time. From the battle power I am sensing from the Leo and Rachel, I can tell that they have the power to fight elite Brigadier stage, but if they come across the 1-star elite, then all they can do is defend. So, I was quite surprised when both of them had yes to Sophia's dangerous plan, as this very dangerous plan even for 3 of us. We had decided to hunt in the Brigadier area day after tomorrow after we get know each other abilities well and developed little teamwork, but incidentally, we had found these elite Colonel stage monsters 2 each is to kill that there no challenge fighting them. They will not be any use to us except for helping us gain mana crystal faster, but that is not why we have come to Grim Battlefield. Our main focus is to become stronger, and quite honestly ever since I improved my swirling armor, I am itching to fight 1-star elite to test its power. Star elites are the unit of strength amongst the Grim race. Even a private stage Grim race monster could become a 1-star elite if he has the strength. Basically, most of 1-star elites have found in the Brigadier and above stages, as at that stage they have the requisite strength to become 1-star elite, but it is mean nothing in their tribe, they only considered little better than the normal elite. Only those who became 1-star elite at the lieutenant stage or below would gain the recognition of their tribe, like those violet apes that we had fought 4 days ago. Those violet apes were just at the master stage and lieutenant stage, but each of them was close to being a 1-star elite. They would have easily become 1-star elite with the month of training. Legs go quickly, it will take near 2 hours to reach that river, said Sophia, seeing Leo and Rachel had not objected her plan. With 2 hours to reach the river, we will have only 3 hours to hunt in the Brigadier area, which is very less. We nodded and started to move through the black grass. We did not dare to walk on air as that would be suicide, so we could only walk through the grass. Chapter 444 Power Eye. Be careful, the grim race monsters we will encounter here are going to be very dangerous, said Sophia in a very soft voice. We all nodded and started to walk through the grass very cautiously. We had just crossed the river a minute ago and now had entered the territory of the Brigadier stage grim race monsters, just as Sophia had said, that every monster we will encounter here are going to be very stronger. We walk slowly in the black grass with our senses taut to the limit. As I walked through the grass I could sense the clear excitement front from twins. I could understand their excitement as I am feeling the same. The battles we fought earlier were no challenge at all, it did not challenge us a bit to show our real power. I want to fight a strong opponent, probably a 1-star elite, and only it will make me reveal my true power and make me work hard for my victory. More than 10 minutes passed by when I sensed the first team of the Grim race monsters. This team had 13 monsters, and to my surprise, all of these Grim race monsters are elite Brigadier stage. I have never thought we would turn this lucky. Just after entering the territory of the Brigadier Stage Grim Race Monster, we come across the Elite Brigadier Stage Elite Grim Race Monsters, which are the perfect Grim Race Monsters to test power. There is a group of monsters ahead. They are less than 12 and probably all of them at the Brigadier stage, Reina said a few seconds later after I discovered the monsters. So, what do you guys think? Sophia asked. I and Reina nodded immediately while Leo and Rachel took little time to say yes. Okay, now we have decided to fight, we should decide the battle strategy, Sophia said. With our old team, we did not have the need to discuss this strategy as everyone knew everything about everyone. We started to discuss in the hushed voices and within a minute decided on the strategy, in which Leo and Rachel will fight the 2 monsters each while I, Reina and Sophia will fight 3 monsters each. With strategy decided, we walked through the grass. This time we did not conceal the sound we make intentionally so that monsters would notice us. That is what happened when we saw 13 monsters coming at us with their weapons ready. They are from the White Oxman tribe, with each of them being 4 meters tall. Each of them excluding the battle power comparable to Violet 8 men we had fought a few days ago. At that time I had a hard time defeating the single monsters, but now I will be fighting the 3 with the same caliber. I am not worried about myself. I am more worried about Leo and Rachel, as handling 2 monsters going to be very difficult for them. They might get seriously injured, even die if they are not careful fighting these monsters. Elite! Exclaimed Leo as he saw the monsters. He probably thought he will be fighting normal Brigadier monster, but now seeing the Elite Brigadier Grim Race monster that more than 2 times taller, Leo looked little shaken. Will you able to handle the 2 Oxmen? Sophia asked, seeing drastic changes in Leo's face. I will handle them, but do help if I am in danger, said Leo with a dry laugh. To that all 3 have nodded in understanding. Good, let's fight then. Sophia and all 4 of us ran toward the Oxman that was walking toward us. On the way, my hands and legs covered with fire and swirls appear on them one by one as they started to compress my swirling armor. By the time I will clash with the Grim Race monsters, my swirling armor will be compressed to 1.5-inch thickness. Seeing us running toward them, the Grim Race monsters summoned their totem spirit. Mates, kill them, shouted lead Grim Race monster as the team of Grim Race monsters leaped at us. I quickly selected the 3 Oxmen and moved toward them. Seeing me coming at them, 3 Oxmen separated from their group and came. As they came closer, all 3 Grim Race monsters swung their battle axe at me. I swiftly moved and dodged the 2 axes while swung my sword to at the 3rd monster. Clank! A loud metallic clank rang out, and all the force of the released by the axe of it burned by the fire covering me before it could enter inside me. Hun! The 3 monsters completely shocked seeing this. Not only I had not blasted back, there was not a shake appeared on my body as my sword directly clashed against the battle of its. Seeing them stumped, I quickly called back my sword and swung at the neck of the Grim Race monster that is left to me, without wasting my time. It hurriedly put its axe in front of it to defend against it. If this Grim Race monster only I had been fighting against, I would easy past it defense and cut its neck, but unfortunately there are 2 other monsters. Clank! If I had slashed its neck bypassing its defense, then at the next moment 2 battle axes of the 2 other monsters would cleave my body into 2. So thinking that, I clashed my sword against its, hurriedly put up a defense and jumped high to avoid the 2 axes that are coming at me. With this swirling armor covering my legs, making jumping maneuvers became very easy. Now I can easily take meters high jump without much effort, and the best thing about these jumps is that they very fast. I called it rocket jump since it is fast like a rocket and could take me quite high if I wished. As I was shooting high, I quickly take a look across the battlefield. The twins are doing fine. They are fighting separately with 3 Grim Race monsters each. Leo looked quite wretched as he solely focused on the defending. It is quite good that Leo had comprehended the strength rule and have such a broadsword, which is helping him to defend the furious assaults of 2 elite Oxmen who are also famous for their strengths. As for Rachel, she running around the battlefield with very swift speed while attacking the 2 Grim Race monsters. I have to say Rachel's nimbleness and speed are very good. I may be able to catch up her speed, but I am no match of in nimbleness. Not only but other couldn't compare to her in nimbleness. This likely due to her being an archer. They are known for their swiftness and nimbleness. Soon I reached the limit of what jump could take me and started to fall. Seeing me falling, the 3 grim race monster had created the net, wanting to kill me as soon as I fall. I shook my head, seeing them covering all the points I could land if I want to. I could easily land outside the net they have created, but there is no challenge in that. Chapter 445 Power 2. Clank. My sword clashed horizontally against the battle axes of the 3 grim race monster. I would have easily able to dodge their blockade they have put from me, but I did not. I have decided to clash against them directly for a challenge. Thud. Using the force of clash, I took the jump backward and landed at the safe distance, but I did not get time to relax as 3 attacks came at me the moment I've landed. Clank. Slice. Fuck. I screamed internally as the bat leaks made quite an injury in my shoulder. My sword clashes against the one bat leaks while other is dodged by me, but as I was dodging the third, that bastard of a grim race monster increased its axe speed suddenly that it cut my shoulder. The injury is no serious one, but it is not light also. It is deep and giving me quite a pain, but it will not hinder me in battle. I have suffered many such injuries across the thousands of battles I have fought. As long as the injury don't cut the bones whole, I will be fine. Seeing the grim race monsters are getting serious, I have increased the speed of my moves so it could match their speed while keeping most of my mind power locked on the swirls. These swirls are quite delicate. Little lapse on my part and whole swirling armor would collapse, and that is the reason why I have not used the 100%. Currently, I am using only 1/4 power of swirling armor. I have never tested the swirling armor in the battle. As I am fighting, I am slowly increasing the power of swirling armor as I got used to it. If I were to use its full power, I am afraid it will collapse before I could fully make a move with help of it. So I will keep increasing the power of swirling slowly as I got more control over the swirls. Clank 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 slice. I kept fighting the 3 grim race monsters and now and then received an injury when they tried a new move or increased their power, but as time passed, their attacks becoming less and less effective on me that they have barely able to injure me. But I had soon released that I was not the only one who was not using their all. Seeing me gaining the ground, the grim race monster started to make their assault fiercer. Clank clank slice. With them making their assault fiercer, I started to get more and more injuries and have to go on total defense to cope with the attacks of the 3 monsters. Though I have received many injuries, only some of them were serious, which I could handle with my current prowess. It's not like I have received only injuries through their furious assault. Their assault had put a quite pressure me, which helped me gain faster control over my swirling armor, that now I can have a little breather during the fights. This one is quite a cockroach. Let's use our full strength and finish it quickly, said the strongest grim race monster of 3 to the other 2. Slice clank 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 slice. Fuck. I cursed loudly as I started to receive the injuries from their battle axes at the breakneck speed. I was really an idiot to think that was their full strength. I had grown too confident on swirling armor that I had started to look down on my opponent before even power of swirling armor fully materialized. This is a good lesson for me, as I could survive their assault. If it was 1-star elite, then I would have been really in the very dire straits. I now solely focused on defending and increasing my control over the swirls so I could harness more power from my swirling armor, and my control is increasing as the swift speed with the pressure of their furious assault. If I am having such a hard time, then I wonder how bad the condition would be Leo and Rachel. I hope they doing fine, as in my current condition I am no condition to help them even if I had used my trump card, the power plant. It will help deal with a maximum of 2 opponents, but the third one will survive and it will able to put me dire condition in my awakened period. Time passed by and I got more and more injuries, but my control over the swirls also increased in this pressure, which able to give me more strength from the armor, but I did not use that strength. Earlier, seeing my mistake overestimating myself, I had made a promise that I will not use the new harnessed strength of swirling armor till I am completely able to harness it to 100%. So, currently, I am using only 30% strength of the swirling armor, as this is much strength I am using when I realize my mistake of overestimating myself. I had understood the gravity of my mistake, and such a mistake require punishment, so it will remind me to not make such a mistake ever again and die by it. The time passed, more injuries appeared on my body, but their frequency lower than before. As the time passed I got used to their battle style and the strength they used and were able to predict with the help of my killing rule, which is helping me to dodge and minimize the injuries I have received. As the battle longs on, my control over swirling armor got better and better till I was able to harness 80% power of the swirling armor and could finish the fight withing a 2-3 minuets if I want to, but I did not, and I haven't able to harness the full power of swirling armor yet. A promise is a promise. I will only use that strength when I completely able to harness the full power of the swirling armor. I wanted to see how others are doing in their battle, but the assault of these 3 grim monsters too powerful that I did not have a second to look around. These 3 grim race monster are seem to hell-bent on wanting to kill me as they are using every ounce of their strength. I could clearly see the way they are hacking their battle axes at me. 100% finally, I got full control over the swirling armor and now could harvest all of its power. As long as I kept my mind locked on the swirls, there is no fear of them getting out of control. Let's end it, I said loudly and smiled fiendishly. Seeing the smile, all 3 monsters became vigilant, attacked me with their strongest attack yet. I shook my head relaxedly as I took a step forward and craned my neck and hip to simultaneously avoid 2 axes while thrusting my sword forward at blurring speed. Poochie! My sword pierced through the chest of third Oxman who attacks about to reach me. I quickly sidestep as I removed the sword from his chest before the momentum of the sword could crash against me, and looked behind, only to see 2 grim monsters are running away at their highest speed. No use. Chapter 446 Power 3. No use. I followed them swiftly with my blurring speed, and in just a few seconds, I caught up to one. Poochie! I pierced my sword before it could stop and put up any defense. Not wasting any time, I quickly moved toward the second one who had stopped in its track to do its last stand. It had seen how easily I had killed 2 of its friends, and it knows there is no use of running from me, so it decided to stop and fight with all its strength. Only this way it will have a slight chance to survive, but regretfully it did not stand any chance to survive. You may have killed my friend, but to kill me you will have to pee. Poochie! You talk too much, I said as I removed my sword from its chest. This one grim race monster was quite brave but also quite stupid. It had decided to fight me till the end, but instead accumulating all its power fight me, it had instead wasted all of its time talking shit, which gave me a chance to effortless beat it. Like all other grim race monster I hunted throughout the day, I had not truly killed them, as I will need them to perform my elemental harvesting experiment and also harvest mana crystal from them, as alive ones give more than the dead ones. The first thing I did after beating the grim race monster was to drink the potions, as I am quite injured, and the second thing I did was to look around. The twins had already finished their fight, and they had finished quite early, as I could see the husk of the grim race monsters in some places, which clearly show that they have already harvested the monster they have killed. As for Rachel and Leo, they are really bad conditions, especially Leo, whose whole body is completely filled with injuries. There is no part of him that does not seem to be covered in blood. Still, despite being injured to such a degree, he is still fighting the 2 grim race monsters with fervor. Rachel is in better condition than Leo. She is still running around the battlefield while attacking the 2 grim race monsters who are furiously fighting her. Of the 2, Rachel may have a tiny bit of chance to kill one of 2 grim monsters that are following her like a hound, but it is a tiny bit chance, not a full surety. Both of them are still quite weak to be able to kill the elite brigadier stage monster. There is a qualitative difference in the colonel stage and brigadier stage. The difference in power is different than in between captain stage and the colonel stage. The last 3 stages of the knight stage are quite powerful. There is a sharp rise in power with each stage, so one shouldn't underestimate them too much, otherwise they will have to pay the price with their lives for their mistake. I quickly put on the runic disc on the 2 grim race monster and charged my sword for the third monster. Poochie! I pierced the center of magic veins of the grim race monster and released the point inferno into it, and like every time the veins of grim race monster started to turn red, before then little burning smell started to come out of the body. Failed again, I thought with a sigh as I placed the runic disc on the half-burned grim race monster to harvest the mana crystals from its half-burned body. Ting ting. Soon 2 tings sounded, and I excitedly picked up the runic discs from the husk of the monster and opened it. 202. 205. Holy shit, I had to know Elite Brigadier stage monster gave about 200 mana crystals, but seeing it with own eyes it's still different. Now every Elite Brigadier stage monster I would kill, I would harvest at least a 200 mana crystal out of them, and if I had killed 50 on the daily basis then I could earn whopping 10,000 crystal a day. If it had been my old team, then it would have been very possible, but with these new teammates of ours, it is slightly difficult for now, but it will be possible as soon as they gain the strength to kill the Elite Brigadier stage monsters easily. But it is not easy to increase the strength in short period of time, only through the chance encounter would one gain the sudden increase in strength. Without the lucky chances one will have to accumulate strength slowly the conventional way. Looks like I will have to help them a little. If they went on the conventional way then it will take then quite a while to catch up to strength we have right now. It has been an hour since we had started to fight the Grim Race monsters, but looking at the Leo and Rachel, I don't think the fight will finish soon. Well, no worries, we still have little more than hours before we have to leave. Like Sophia and Reina, I also pick up the corner to intercept the Grim Race monster when they tried to run. We are too familiar with this scenario, it had happened to us many times. Like us, Grim Race is also an intelligent race, and when things thin hard, they also tried to run. No one wants to die by the enemy SS blade no matter how prideful they are, so we have to stop in the corner to intercept the monster and in this condition, help our teammates if they are in danger. While watching I also fiddled with my swirling armor also. This battle has made me realize a lot of disadvantages of the swirling armor and I am trying to fix that now. During the battle, I have been able to harness the 100% power of the swirling armor gradually, but I am still not proficient in harvesting it all once. If I want to harness the 100% power from the start of the battle, then that is still difficult for me. I would have to practice for a few days before I should able to harness the full power of swirling armor at will without the gradual process. One more hour passed and Rachel and Leo's condition had become even worse, but they are still fighting, but not long. I have noticed that Grim Race monster they are fighting have already noticed that all of their comrades are dead, and now they are only fighting for the show while searching for the perfect moment to run away. I am sure twins also noticed that as their eyes have become sharp and weapons ready to attack any moment. Few minutes more passed when suddenly I sensed killing intent of one Oxman skyrocketed and knew Leo in danger. Without waiting I had leaped toward the Leo with the blurring speed. I have not unsummoned the swirling armor from me. I had already guessed something like this might happen, so I had been ready with my armor and sword for this type of scenario. "Bastard, die," said one Oxman as it swung its battle axe with the full might of it, while one monster attacked Leo. The one who he is fighting had started to run, and seeing one running away, the other two that were fighting Rachel had also started to run in a different direction. Reina and Sophia did not waste time coming toward Leo to save him. Seeing I have already crossed more than half distance to save Leo instead, they went toward the two monsters that were running away. Leo's face morphed into the horror seeing the bat leaks coming toward him, as he knows did not have the ability to defend against it, but still he did not try to dodge, instead used his sword to clash against the coming bat leaks. But to his horror, the battle had nimbly dodged his sword and came toward his neck. The time slowed down a little as he saw the bat leak slowly coming toward his neck, and he was just about to close his eyes to accept the death when a red sword suddenly appeared in front of him. Clank! Poochie! The bat leak stopped by the red sword, and before he could register what happened, the blade moved at an unnatural angle and pierced through the heart of the monster. Chapter 447 Invitation. "Are you fine, Leo?" I asked, seeing him standing frozen like a wooden block. It had been a few seconds since I had beaten the monster, and it had even fallen on the ground making a loud sound, but that wasn't enough to make Leo wake from his daze. I can understand what he is going through. Such close contact with death had put him in a shock that froze his body and mind to save him from having a big trauma. It is an instinctive reaction of the brain. I had also gone through this once when I training in the West Blood. Such an incident left quite a scar in one's mind, which made some people leave this dangerous life altogether for a peaceful life, as they couldn't get over the dreadful moments they faced. I have come across many people who have done that in the West Blood. I hope Leo won't leave, as very few people could come back after leaving once. "Are fine, Leo?" I asked loudly this time, seeing no response coming from him. Yes, I am fine now. "Thank you for saving my life, by the way," said Leo with a very shaking voice. He still didn't seem coming out of that moment, but who would? man, that was quite an attack. I have come close to death many times, but this time was closest, said Leo with a dry laugh. Seeing him laughing after experiencing such a close shave with the death, I heaved a sigh of relief. He will be fine, maximum he will have to take some counseling if there is some mental scar. Psychiatry is a booming business in a place like Grim Battlefield. I think the only non-combat field that has a similar number of personnel as prostitutes they will psychiatrists. There are a huge number of them in this outpost, more than Westblood City. The Westbound City may be the city of adventures that have many adventures, but it couldn't compare to this outpost where more than 95% are powerhouses. In the Westblood, I had taken counseling for a month to deal with the stress of breaking the seal on Ashlyn, and I have to say, it helped me good to cope with the stress I had. Let's clean the battlefield quick and leave, said Sophia, and quickly started to clean the battlefield, which is harvest the mana crystals from the monster and take the stuff they are having. We finished the harvesting within 10 minutes. Of the 4 monsters that killed by use, half of harvested mana crystals by taken by us 3, while other halfway taken by the Leo and Rachel. They didn't want to take it at first, saying they didn't kill any grim monster, but at our insistence they finally took it. We stopped at the battlefield for half an hour to let Leo and Rachel have some rest and let them heal their injuries before leaving for the outpost, as there is only half an hour till the time of our original time of leaving. On leaving, we crossed the river again to leave from the Colonel Stage area, as if we were to leave from the Brigadier area then it would probably take us night and we might even lose a member of 2. On the way leaving through the Colonel Stage territory, we come across the 3 teams of the Clonal Stage monster, and one team even had the 22 monster in the team. That was the biggest team of monsters we have even fought. Though monsters' numbers were high, it didn't took more than 5 minutes for 5 us to finish the monsters off. Leo and Rachel were extra ferocious killing the monsters we have encountered in our way back. They both have received quite a loss fighting the Brigadier Stage monsters. So, on the way, they became hungry tigers who would leap at any prey they have encountered ferociously. My face was full of smiles when I had to get out of the prairie. Today I got the biggest haul ever. It is 3 times more than I have even got in the single day. My harvest of today is whopping 50-64 mana crystal. These many crystals are simply huge that I have decided that I will change my apartment to big one as soon as I returned from the Ephirian ruin. I wanted to change now, but that will waste too much time and it will also take time for my mind to adjust to a new place, so I had decided change right after I returned from the Ephirian ruin. My current space is fine for a living, but it is not good enough for my practice. The next apartment I would rent will have a big practice room where I would able to practice at my heart content. I was busy daydreaming about my dream apartment when I was brought back to reality by Sophia's voice. Do we hunt Brigadier territory or go back to the Colonel territory? Sophia asked. Her question may seem directed at all of us, but it was directed at Leo and Rachel, and they also understood it. They both did not say anything for a few minutes, deeply thinking about the question that Sophia just asked. The guild had a hard condition for those who want to enter the Ephirian ruin. Only those who had cleared the 3 challenge of the guild would get permission to enter the Ephirian ruin, said Rachel softly as if speaking to herself. There are only 15 days till the connection to the Ephirian ruin to be made, and I don't think I will improve enough to 15 days if I kept training in the normal speed. Only training in a dangerous environment such as today will I be able to make enough progress to clear the 3rd challenge. Only training in the dangerous environment such as today will help in the swift increase in strength, Rachel said as she looked at Leo. Her meaning is clear that she wants to train in the Brigadier territory. As for Leo, from his face he looked like he didn't want to train in Brigadier territory anymore, but after hearing what Rachel said his expression started to change. Well, do save my life if I am in danger again, said with a little awkward laugh. After to that we all laugh a little. So, it is decided that we will continue our training in the Brigadier territory. Time passed and we reached the outpost and crossed the gate and about to leave for a respected apartment when I stopped everyone. Come to my apartment by 10, I said to everyone. It didn't take a moment for Sophia and Reina to understand the meaning of my words, but Leo and Rachel were clearly confused with the sudden invitation. Why? Asked Rachel. You will know when you come to my apartment, I said, to which Rachel didn't ask further questions. Here is my address, I said and forwarded my address to both of them. After saying goodbye, I went toward my apartment with Reina and Sophia while Leo and Rachel went towards their. Chapter 448 Revenge. After reaching my apartment, I quickly started to do the evening activities that I do every day after came back to my apartment from the hunt. They will arrive by 10 p.m., which means I have only 3 hours, which I think more than enough for me to finish all my chores, eat dinner, and take some rest. After taking a shower, I started to make dinner, which I had completed in the 45 minutes. After eating dinner, I relaxedly laid on my bed while reading. There is still 1.5 hours till they arrive. It is enough time for me to take some good rest as I read. Bell bell. Time passed by as I was busy in my reading when I heard the bell. I closed the document I was reading and went to open the door. Come in, I said, smiling to Sophia and Reina. Looks like we have arrived early, said Sophia as they entered my apartment. How was your progress in the body cleansing exercise? I asked as I took a seat beside them. They have already gone through the first cleansing a few days ago, and the result of that be seen in their battle and the body. Their fighting style had become a lot freer. I could see them performing many flexible moves they have not performed before, and their skin had also become a little radiant, which made them even more beautiful. We are doing very well. If everything went well, then we will go through the second cleaning in a few days, said Reina in her soft melodic voice. Their progress is quite fast, 4 to 5 times faster than mine before I arrived at the grim battlefield. Our target is to go through at least third cleansing before we enter the Ephirian ruin. It will give us quite a boot if we were able to do that, Sophia said. How about you, Michael? How far have you reached? Sophia asked. I will go through fourth cleansing if I kept advancing in my current speed. I replied modestly, but my answer had been clearly surprised hearing my answer. It looked like we are slacking a bit too much. We will have to up our efforts if we want to catch up to you, Sophia said to me. To that I could only laugh, seeing their speed is already faster than me. Bell. We were just talking when the doorbell rang, and when I looked, I found it was Leo, and not long after him Rachel has arrived. She had come right on time, not a minute early or a minute late. You guys must have heard about the body cleansing technique, right? I asked after everyone seated in the hall. Rachel and Leo nodded, and something dawned on their faces, but they refrained from asking any question about it. Well, I asked you guys to come today so I could teach you guys some posses of the first move. They will be enough for you guys to go through the third cleansing, I said. They didn't speak for quite a while as if processing what I have just said. Isn't this technique only performed by those who were at later stages of ninth stage due to its enormous requirement for the energy? Rachel asked the core of the question. What you said is right, this technique does require enormous energy, but that is for the later moves. Body cleansing technique has 16 moves and each move have 108 poses, so with your current power you can definitely have the power to perform 2 to 3 moves, and what I am teaching you is just 36 poses of first, which I am sure we'll able to perform in this 15 days, I said. I intentionally downplayed the difficulty of the body cleansing technique, so that they would not get scared by the difficulty and do better. This technique is immensely difficult that even Central Continent very few people were able to perform till the 10th move, much less the 16th move, and get unblemished body. Are you going to teach us now? Leo asked, and excitement could be heard in his voice. His excitement could be understandable. Today he had nearly died, which no one wants to experience, so the best option is to never let that happen, is to increase the strength, and that is probably why he did even try to reject my offer of being me teaching him a very expensive technique. Yes. Now let's go to the other room. This place is not suitable for performing the body cleansing technique, I said, and led them toward the other room, which I specifically made for them for practice. This room is now completely devoid of any stuff except for temperature room, which I had quickly deactivated. For my teammates, I have let go 1 day of my precious poison training. Poison training is very important for me as it is the best way to accumulate the food for the energy of the miracle fruit. You guys watch well and record. I will be now performing the body cleansing technique, I said, and started performing. The first 12 poses of body cleansing technique went blur. I didn't even have to put any efforts. They felt almost effortless. I had to slow down intentionally from my regular speed so they can record well. After the 12th pose, I started to feel the little pressure of the body cleansing, but not much. I had performed with putting little efforts, and that's how it went till I reached 24th pose. Only after the 24th pose, I started to put little effort, and this time I didn't have to control my speed while performing as it had become slow naturally. It was a good thing that I was wearing special sweat resistance clothing, otherwise my friend would have to imagine much to see my assets. Time passed by and soon I performed the 36th move, but I didn't stop. I may have foregone one day of poison training, but I will not waste body cleansing exercise. I will perform at best of my ability. After 37th pose, I moved toward the 38th and then 39th, 40th, 41st, 42nd. I was able to reach the 42nd yesterday and today, and I want to reach the 43rd. I performed at very slow speed, using every bit of energy. My friend's mouth went wide seeing how much effort I am putting. Thud. After with such intense effort, I was finally able to reach the 43rd pose and fully performed it, only then I let myself fall on the floor. I could see 4 of them looking at me intently before a small smile formed on Sophia's face and she came closer to me. "Michelle, are you okay?" Sophia said as crouched beside me, and seeing no answer coming from she poked my face with her sharp, perfectly manicured fingers. "She is taking revenge." I had done the same thing with her when Sophie first time performed the body cleansing technique in my apartment. "Reina, look, Michael is not responding. Do we feed him potion or something?" Sophia asked innocently to her sister while poking me with her sharp nails over and over. I so want to curse her loudly and clip away those sharp nails of her from which she is poking me so painfully, but unfortunately, I can't do anything to her other cursing her in mind and remember this for the future to pay her back later. Chapter 449 Explore. Time ticked by and in such 5 days passed since we formed a new team and started hunting in Black Grass Prairie. In the past 5 days, I have to say our team had improved beyond my expectations, especially the 2 new members of my team, Rachel and Leo. Their improvement was greater than we had expected. On the first day both of them barely able to defend against the elite Brigadier stage Grim Race monster, and now they are able to kill it. Though they take nearly an hour to kill a single Brigadier stage Grim Race monster, it is still an immense improvement. The first 3 days they only took a heavy beating, so much that one time Reina had to save Rachel's life from the Grim Race monster second day. Of the 2, Rachel was the first one to kill the elite Brigadier stage monster. She killed it on the 4th day, and a day after that Leo was also able to kill the elite Brigadier stage. They also made quite a progress in body cleansing exercise, that just in the 3 days they both have gone through the first cleansing, which increase their power indirectly. As twins, they have also made progress in supreme combat exercise, as Sophia was bragging about it quite loudly. They have both gone through second cleansing and now swiftly moving toward the third cleansing. As for me, I have also made quite a progress. Not only I went thought the 4th cleansing, but I also had able to create the 29th seal finally, that I have been trying to create this seal for more than 10 days. That is not the only progress I've made. I can now able to fully harness the power of the swirling armor with thought, and even brought down the time of its summoning to 5 seconds. 1 second may seem like small progress, but it is huge. 1 second is enough to create the difference between life and death. In the next 10 days, I am planning to cut the time of summoning to the 3 second. If I am able to bring down the swirling armor's time of summoning to 3 seconds, then it would be really helpful in the Ephirian ruin where danger exits at every step. 2 days ago, I got my weekly quota to attempt the guild challenge and I used it, effectively clearing the guild challenge with some effects, and as for the 4th challenge, it was harder than I expected. I thought with my increase in strength, I would able to last at least 10 minutes, but to my surprise, I was barely able to last a minute, and that was only because of rocket jumps I took with the help of my swirling armor to dodge the 4th challenger's attacks. If not for that, I would have been beaten back within a few seconds. That's how powerful the 4th challenge was, and because of this hard beating I took, I was able to go through the 4th minor cleansing and create 29th seal on the very night. That was a really great surprise for me, which helped me immensely next day, as we have come across the team of 26 elite Grim Race monster. That day was the fastest I've ever killed any Brigadier stage monsters. Not only B but Sophia and Reina also killed the monsters with their full strength. We had to kill them swiftly because if we had been more than 20 seconds late, we would have had found our 2 teammates dead. There is something good happened in the home also. My father's research had caught the eye of some mystery organization and they have offered him a job. My father asked me to find the details about organizations before he can think of accepting their offer. When I tried it, I found out I didn't have sufficient access. I had to ask the help of my former team leader, but to my utter surprise, the team leader also didn't had sufficient access to know to find out about that organization. But team leader didn't disappoint me, seeing it is related to my parents. He asked his friend in mid-zone to find out about it. That friend did find out about it. The information he provided was minuscule, but that minuscule information was enough to shock me to the core. The instructor told me that the mystery organization my father got job offer is from is a very powerful research organization from the central continent, which had its branches spread all over the world. Our continent had also had its branches. One is present in the capital of the kingdom, that where my father is going to work in, as he had accepted the job offer yesterday and they are going to move to the capital city in a week. I felt a little sad seeing them moving out of time where I spent 6 years of life and made a friend like Ellen, but it is also good as the town is not safe as the cities where the big powerhouse is present to guard against any monster tide that attacks the city, and my parents are moving to the capital city, the safest city in the whole republic. My parents were not the only ones who moved out of the town. Ellen's parents also shifted to capital city 2 months ago. She wanted me to shift my parents to capital for better safety, and I had even asked them, but they had declined. In the last 5 days, we have hunted quite a bit the Grim Race monsters. Not only there were lots of elite Brigadier stage Grim Race monster, but there were also common Brigadier stage Grim Race monsters as well, who were weak as chicken in front of me. Not only I was easily able to kill them, Leo and Rachel also able to finish them withing Minuet with their improved strength. That is probably why in just 5 days, I had harvested 30769 mana crystal. That was a really huge sum which could really help me in so many ways. The only Grim Race monsters we have not fought is 1-star elite. The 1-star elites are very difficult to find in the territory we are hunting. If we went a little deeper, then we have very likely come across the 1-star elite. But currently, we have no plans to go any deeper. We will only deeper when strength of our 2 teammates improved a little. Today we had decided to take the break from the hunting. Constant fighting is not good, it stresses one out too much and destabilizes the mind. One needs to have a calm mind, especially in a place like the grim battlefield where one danced on the edge of life and death every day. Today I have decided to do nothing, no practice of supreme combat exercise, no body cleansing technique, no reading, and no comprehending from the blood drop. Today I had decided to simply enjoy the wonders of the city. There are many amazing things which I haven't had a chance to explore. Today I am planning doing that. Chapter 450 Calm. What a day! I thought as I laid on the bed tiredly. If one thought this is warring outpost and won't have anything to do with the fun, then they are severely wrong. This outpost has many places that can make one believe that this not warring outpost but a metropolitan city of a very developed country. There are many amazing things in this outpost that even the capital city of the Republic don't have. The restaurants, recreation centers, and many other things, and that could make gape in astonishment, but all of them have one thing in common, and that is their sky-high price. The prices here are higher than in the sky though. If I had seen these prices my first day I came here, I surely would have fainted on the spot, but now they are nothing much compared to the thousands of mana crystal I am harvesting. The exploration of the city was very good, but I am not the happiest one. The happiest one is Ashlyn, who ate at her heart content today. Today, I had not restricted her in any way. Whatever she wanted to eat I had rough for her, and probably because she ate so much, she fell into sleep as soon we entered our apartment. Now I don't plan on doing anything right now, just a long good sleep and wake up early tomorrow to start hunting again. With that thought, I freshened up and laid on the bed. I did not quickly fell into sleep as I usually do, but I still fell into sleep after 10 minutes, and when I woke, it was before dawn and I felt completely relaxed in both body and mind. I have never had such feelings ever since I have come to this grim battlefield. Since the first day I have come here I have trained or practiced or did something that is beneficial to my strength, but yesterday I did no such thing. I've just explored the city, eat different kinds of things, and even watched the movie. It had been months I watched one and felt quite watch one again. An hour later, I got out of my apartment and flew towards Twins' apartment building. We have decided that whoever got ready first would wait in front of the other's building. Seeing twins are not waiting, I go towards their apartment building. I had just waited for 2 when I saw Sophia and Reina came out of their apartment building. How was yesterday? I asked despite knowing how it went. Sophia had posted tens of photos and videos yesterday. The spa was really amazing. You should have come, Michael. The spas here is much better than that of home. Even now I am feeling relaxed and calm after the massage I had got yesterday, Sophia said as she touched her extra glowing skin. She had invited me to spa yesterday, but I had declined as I had made my own plans for yesterday and spending the whole day at the spa wasn't my thing. If it would have been a thing of hour or 2 I would surely have accepted Sophia's invitation, but Sophia had planned to spend the whole day and that was too much for me. I had not accepted her invitation, but the other 2 members of our team had accepted her invitation to the spa with glee. Leo and Rachel had gone to the spa trip with twins, and from the photos and videos, I have seen they had quite fun. Especially Leo, he had looked like he was having too much fun with all the facial and massages. Soon we had reached the gates of the outpost and waited by our usual corner for our teammates. We didn't have to wait for long, both of them had arrived within the 15 minutes. After they arrived we started our journey. A few minutes later, after we had crossed the city gates, I increased my speed suddenly. It is not that I had increased my speed, it's just that I had switched my skywalking skill. The skywalking skill I had been using until now was the low-level night grade skill, but night before yesterday, I had completely finished studying this mid-level skywalking skill and now I had decided to try it. Currently, I have only 2 mid-level night skill I can use. First is strength type named Giant Strength and the skywalking skill named Soaring Leaps. I had chosen it to be my second mid-level night grade skill because it was easy to study. This skywalking skill and previous skywalking skill that I had used were derived from the same peak level night grade skywalking skill, and that was why I was able to completely study it in less than 10 days. As I had activated my skywalking skill, my gait was a little unstable as this was my first time using the skill. Controlling it will be difficult, but with the passing time, I started to get a hang of it and relatively able to control myself. Are you trying out your new skywalking skill? Sophia asked after seeing I got relative control over skill. Yes, I said while tweaking skills here to find the perfect way to use the skill. You got under control pretty quickly, without failing even once, said Sophia, and that exact moment I had tweaked the more than I could handle and started falling down from the sky. Fuck. I cursed loudly as I was able to stabilize myself just a meter above the ground. That was close. If I had been a little late, I would have surely had broken some of my bones despite falling on the air cushion that Rachel had created in the haste. Thank you, I said to Rachel, and then angrily glared at Sophia. If not this loudmouth mentioning falling on the ground, I would have lost my concentration and nearly fallen on the ground. We continued our journey, and about an hour later we had reached the edge of the black grass prairie and stopped. Our hunting speed would be quite fast now that you have able to kill the elite Brigadier stage Grim monster, said Sophia with a smile. It is a fact that our 2 teammates are a little weak compared to 3 of us, and because of that, each battle took longer than it should be, but now they have become capable of killing elite Brigadier stage. We will be able to hunt a lot faster than before. We stopped after walking in black grass prairie for about 25 minutes as Reina has sensed the monster ahead. As usual, I had sensed before her but kept quiet. Soon we discussed the plan to hunt the 11 monster ahead of us, and after discussing the plan we have attacked the 11 elite Brigadier stage monsters. With 3 of fighting 3 monsters each, while the other 2 monsters are being fought by Rachel and Leo. In 55 minutes the fight is over. We 3 finished out fight within the 15 minutes, while an extra half an hour taken by our 2 new teammates. After harvesting the mana core from them, we move forward in the search of the new targets to hunt. Chapter 451 Killing Eye. It may be the pressure of Ephirian Ruin or time of limits of League of Legends and Continental Championship, we are improving at the breakneck speed. It has been 10 days since our new team formed and we have started hunting Black Grass Prairie. We have been killing Grim Race monsters like crazy. We are killing so much Grim Race monster that yesterday, I have crossed the mark of the 10,000. I have harvested over 10 freaking thousand yesterday. I have not dared to believe that number and checked it many times to feel if it's real or not. 10,000 mana crystal is not the small amount, even in the outpost, it is a substantial sum, much less in Republic where even a fortune is not a good word for it. In the past 10 days, we have killed both normal and elite brigadier stage, not only that we have also come across the 1-star elite one time, but it was hogged by Sophia before Reina and I could run toward it fight it. Sophia must seem like an impulsive and loudmouthed girl, but she is an extremely smart girl, she never lets an opportunity go. After that 1-star elite, we have not come across any other 1-star elite, but that might change today as we have decided to go deeper in the Black Grass Prairie to specially search for the 1-star elite. Because of the immense pressure they are feeling, Rachel and Leo went from being beaten black and blue from the elite brigadier stage monster to kill elite brigadier stage grim race monster, and it is not simply killing one elite brigadier stage monster. Both of them now are able to kill 3 elite brigadier stage grim race monster, and it was Rachel and Leo who suggested to deeper. We have been quite surprised when we heard this, but we didn't have to think much to know why they have said that. 2 days ago both of them have challenged their guild's challenge respectively and their result was not so good. They still lack little strength to clear up the 3rd challenge, and if they have not able to clear it in the next 4 days, then they will have to say goodbye to the Ephirian ruin. It is an early afternoon in the Black Grass Prairie and we had just killed the team of 17 elite brigadier the grim race monsters and now harvesting the mana crystal out of them. As we are getting deeper in the Black Grass Prairie, all the monsters we have encountered are the elite brigadier stage grim race monsters, and they are not the normal elite but the stronger than the ones we faced before. Since the morning we have already finished 5 teams of Grim of the Grim Race Monster, and all these teams had 12 or members in their teams. Let's move forward, Sophia said as Rachel and Leo had finally finished their harvesting. We took our position and silently started walking through the black grass. With the 10 days of fighting together we have developed very good teamwork and formation we used to walk through the grass. The 4 of excluding Rachel move ahead with having little less than the 1 meter distance between them, so we would not able to impede each other movement but also seen where another one is. And as always, Rachel follows behind us as she is an archer. This formation we have learned through the many trials and errors. It's hadn't been 10 minutes since we started to walk from the previous battlefield when I had sensed the group of grim race monsters, and when I sensed their levels, I couldn't help but get happy for a moment before turning very serious. What I am sensing is 15 grim race monsters, of which 10 of them are elite brigadier stage and 5 are 1-star elite, but what made me serious in 2 1-star elite, they are emitting quite a powerful battle power than rest of 3 1-star elites. There are 10 to 20 grim race monster. They should all be elite brigadier stage monster, but there is a chance that there may be one of 1-star elite between them, Reina said. I shook my head. She is very wrong. It looks like I finally have to reveal my sensory ability, otherwise, they will have to pay quite a dear price if they fought unknowingly. There is 15 grim race monster in total. 10 are elite brigadier stage monster and 5 are 1-star elites, in which 2 1-star elites is especially strong, I said softly. Just as I said that, all 3 of them with mouth agape as if they could not believe what I have said. Michael, you are still hiding very deeply, said Sophia as she curled her lips in a small smile. How strong are those 2 strong 1-star elites than the rest of the 1-star elites? Asked Reina with a serious face. Both of them about 30% stronger than the normal 1-star elite, I replied, hearing that there was a rapid change on everyone's faces, especially that of twins. 1-star elite is very powerful, that even a 1% increase could make a difference, and the one I had mentioned has about 30% stronger than normal 1-star elite. Sophia quickly motioned toward the back, and a few seconds later Rachel came closer and everyone started discussing the plan with a soft voice. As we were discussing the plan, something alarmed me greatly, but soon I calmed down seeing no reaction. Rachel and Leo will have 5 elite brigadier stage grim race monsters each, while Michael, you will handle 2 1-star elites. One of them would be stronger one, while my sister and I will handle the 3 1-star elite, including the second strong one, Sophia said. Does anyone have a problem with the battle plan? Sophia asked, and we all shook our heads saying no. Now let's attack, then sneakily before then notify us, Sophia said, about to move when she found a weird smile on my face. What is it, Michael? Sophia asked in impatience. They have already noticed us and even surrounded us, I said with a dry smile. What? In this group of grim race monster, someone had very good senses and it could be compared to sensory ability. Earlier when we were discussing the plan, they have already noticed our presence and surrounded us, we could not escape. If they have already surrounded us then there is no use of hiding, Sophia said as she stood, and with her, we all stood up, and like I had sensed 15 silver-tooth hyena men had already surrounded us. Looks like rats had finally come out, said the tallest silver-tooth hyena man. We were about to attack the grim race monsters, ignoring its taunt, when we saw something in the hands of the grim race monster that made us stop short on our tracks as our blood started to boil. In the hands of some hyenamen are raw human parts, and they seemed to be eating it with enjoyment without care or bloodthirsty look. Leave no one alive, I said through gritted teeth, and attack with the ferocity as the killing intent in me had risen to the terrifying degree that had never before. Chapter 452 Killing 2. Am burning with the killing intent. I have never felt such killing intent before for anyone in my life. In this grim battlefield, I've many times seen bones of humans littered around and even saw human parts as bait to lure other humans, but I have never seen a grim race monsters actively eating the human parts in front of me. There are 5 1-star elite in this group of grim race monster, and of which 2 of them stronger than the other 3, and currently, I am running toward one of the strongest of 2 1-star elite. He is also the one who just spoke with the mouthful of human meat in its voice. As I ran toward it, the fire armor had covered my hands and feet, and the swirls started to appear on them, concentrating the armor by the time I will reach the grim race monster. Fire strike. I launched the fire strike at one weaker 1-star elite as I am moving toward the stronger one. Fire strike is almost useless against Amp Brigadier stage grim race monster to be at the normal ones or the 1-star elite. I did that because I wanted to attract that other grim race monster toward me also, so they could not attack the Rachel and Leo. Both of them are not powerful enough to beat the 1-star elite yet. With my attack as a provocation, weaker 1-star grim race monster will sure come at me to attack. The grim race monster had immense arrogance, and they consider us humans nothing but the food, so whenever the food attack then on its own, they got angry at attacking him like a rabid dog. Die monster. Finally, I had reached close to the grim race monster and attacked with my full strength, holding nothing back. I screamed loudly at it to die, which I rarely do, but now I am furious enough that I wanted to scream loud as I can. Seeing my sword toward it, the monster replied with the light blade of it while still holding the human thigh on its other hand which it had been eating. Clank. Thud thud. Our weapons clashed, and to my utter shock, I had to take a few steps back to defuse the blow while it stood rooted on spot with such small shake which seemed to surprise it little as a casual look on its face vanished, but next second the casual look on its face came back. This strong 1-star elite is really strong, just casual defense of it was enough to make me take a step back, couple of steps. It was a good thing I had used my full strength from the start. Just as it finished defending against my attacks, it started to take a bite of human thigh leisurely, which made the killing intent in me rise even further. I wanted to stop it from taking another bite, but I couldn't as I have to defend against the attack that is coming from the weaker 1-star elite which I had attracted a second ago. Clank. I defended against the attack without taking a step back, which shocked the strong 1-star elite as it took the step back. Careful, Zoa, this one is little strong, said the other 1-star elite with a mouthful of human flesh in its mouth as it attacked me. Its attack may seem casual and slow, but it was very swift that I had to use all my strength to respond to it. Clank. Slice. I defended against its attack, but just as I did that, weaker grim monster attacked me. It was a good thing that I had sensed an attack and able to dodge in time most of it, but it still left a deep gash on my waist. But just as I dodged the attack with little injury, I found another attack coming at me very swiftly that I had reacted instinctive and used my sword to defend against it. A minute had passed just like that, but at this minute, I've received 5 small injuries. I would have been seriously injured if not for the stronger grim race monster hadn't turned serious as it is attacking me while taking a bite of the human thigh in its hand. It's like it is toying with me, which is making me suffocating and made killing intent in me rise even more, because I have come to realize that when it would get serious, I would be not able to stand any chance against it. Its strength is 30% higher than the normal 1-star elite, this 30% is no joke and I did not dare to underestimate, but I still accurately failed to predict how stronger it is. And the other thing is that this is my first time fighting the 1-star elite. The only 1-star elite I've fought or something which has a similar strength is in Guild Challenge, but that was just some sort of magical program and this is real. I have to do something, otherwise I will have no choice but run, but I don't think I will be fast enough to outrun this stronger Grim Race monster, seeing its strength it may able to catch up to me, and also, I am not alone, there are my teammates, especially Rachel and Leo, who could be easily slaughtered like chicken by the hands of this Grim Race monster. I started to circulate Supreme Combat exercise. Till now it had never failed whenever I am in danger. I have already had created 29 seals, but this circulation for the 30th seal is extremely difficult. The last seal of withing the 10 seal is always very difficult. It is likely because of the after successful creation of this seal, all the 10 seals would merge and create an amethyst seal. If I am able to create the 3rd amethyst seal, then I will have a very good chance of surviving against this strong Grim Race monster. Though it will not be enough to win against it, as I am fairly confident that it would have comprehended the occult method. So, my foremost goal is to create a 3rd amethyst seal and then create more seals further, enough to kill this Grim Race monsters. I have already decided to kill it, and even if I had to pay the price of getting very very seriously injured, I am ready for it. Slice. Another injury, I thought, as I grit my teeth and try to circulate Supreme Combat exercise, but in all these 3 minuets, I had only able to circulate only 1 move of Supreme Combat exercise, which is very low speed. If I kept circulating in this speed, then I would surely die by the strong hyenaman's hand. This one wasn't enough to satiate my stomach. Look like I will have to eat this friend here to satiate the hunger I am feeling, said the strong hyenaman as it threw away clearly left bones of that thigh as it looks at me with clear hunger in its eyes. Chapter 453, Killing 3. Am burning with the killing intent. I have never felt such killing intent before for anyone in my life. In this grim battlefield, I've many times seen bones of humans littered around and even saw human parts as bait to lure other humans, but I have never seen a Grim Race monsters actively eating the human parts in front of me. There are 5 1-star elite in this group of Grim Race monster, and of which 2 of them stronger than the other 3, and currently, I am running toward one of the strongest of 2 1-star elite. He is also the one who just spoke with the mouthful of human meat in its voice. As I ran toward it, the fire armor had covered my hands and feet and the swirls started to appear on them, concentrating the armor by the time I will reach the Grim Race monster. Fire Strike. I launched the Fire Strike at one weaker 1-star elite as I am moving toward the stronger one. Fire Strike is almost useless against Amp Brigadier stage Grim Race monster to be at the normal ones or the 1-star elite. I did that because I wanted to attract that other Grim Race monster toward me also, so they could not attack the Rachel and Leo. Both of them are not powerful enough to beat the 1-star elite yet. With my attack as a provocation, weaker 1-star Grim Race monster will sure come at me to attack. The Grim Race monster had immense arrogance and they consider us humans nothing but the food, so whenever the food attack then on its own, they got angry at attacking him like a rabid dog. Die monster. Finally, I had reached close to the Grim Race monster and attacked with my full strength, holding nothing back. I screamed loudly at it to die, which I rarely do, but now I am furious enough that I wanted to scream loud as I can. Seeing my sword toward it, the monster replied with the light blade of it while still holding the human thigh on its other hand which it had been eating. Clank. Thud thud. Our weapons clashed and to my utter shock, I had to take a few steps back to defuse the blow while it stood rooted on spot with such small shake which seemed to surprise it little as a casual look on its face vanished, but next second the casual look on its face came back. This strong 1-star elite is really strong, just casual defense of it was enough to make me take a step back, couple of steps. It was a good thing I had used my full strength from the start. Just as it finished defending against my attacks, it started to take a bite of human thigh leisurely, which made the killing intent in me rise even further. I wanted to stop it from taking another bite, but I couldn't as I have to defend against the attack that is coming from the weaker 1-star elite which I had attracted a second ago. Clank. I defended against the attack without taking a step back, which shocked the strong 1-star elite as it took the step back. Careful, Zoa, this one is little strong, said the other one-star elite with a mouthful of human flesh in its mouth as it attacked me. Its attack may seem casual and slow, but it was very swift that I had to use all my strength to respond to it. Clank. Slice. I defended against its attack, but just as I did that, weaker grim monster attacked me. It was a good thing that I had sensed an attack and able to dodge in time most of it, but it still left a deep gash on my waist. But just as I dodged the attack with little injury, I found another attack coming at me very swiftly that I had reacted instinctive and used my sword defend against it. A minute had passed just like that, but at this minute, I've received 5 small injuries. I would have been seriously injured if not for the stronger grim race monster hadn't turned serious as it is attacking me while taking a bite of the human thigh in its hand. It's like it is toying with me, which is making me suffocating and made killing intent in me rise even more because I have come to realize that when it would get serious, I would be not able to stand any chance against it. Its strength is 30% higher than the normal one-star elite. This 30% is no joke and I did not dare to underestimate, but I still accurately failed to predict how stronger it is. And the other thing is that this is my first time fighting the one-star elite, the only one-star elite I've fought or something which has a similar strength is in Guild Challenge, but that was just some sort of magical program and this is real. I have to do something, otherwise I will have no choice but run, but I don't think I will be fast enough to outrun this stronger grim race monster, seeing its strength it may able to catch up to me, and also, I am not alone, there are my teammates, especially Rachel and Leo, who could be easily slaughtered like chicken by the hands of this grim race monster. I started to circulate supreme combat exercise, till now it had never failed whenever I am in danger. I have already had created 29 seals, but this circulation for the 30th seal is extremely difficult. The last seal of withing the 10 seal is always very difficult. It is likely because of the after successful creation of this seal, all the 10 seals would merge and create an amethyst seal. If I am able to create the 3rd amethyst seal, then I will have a very good chance of surviving against this strong grim race monster, though it will not be enough to win against it, as I am fairly confident that it would have comprehended the occult method. So, my foremost goal is to create a 3rd amethyst seal and then create more seals further, enough to kill this grim race monsters. I have already decided to kill it, and even if I had to pay the price of getting very very seriously injured, I am ready for it. Slice. Another injury, I thought as I grit my teeth and try to circulate supreme combat exercise, but in all these 3 minuets, I had only able to circulate only 1 move of supreme combat exercise, which is very low speed. If I kept circulating in this speed, then I would surely die by the strong hyenaman's hand. This one wasn't enough to satiate my stomach. Look like I will have to eat this friend here to satiate the hunger I am feeling, said the strong hyenaman as it threw away clearly left bones of that thigh as it looks at me with clear hunger in its eyes. Chapter 454, Killing 4. There is one hope in this utterly hopeless situation, and that is supreme combat exercise. I have already circulated till the 14th move of the supreme combat exercise, and if I am able to circulate 10 even more, then I will be able to create 30th seal, which will turn into the 3rd amethyst seal, which will give me enough to fight against it head on and not get badly beaten by it, but it will all depend on my circulation. I am already in very dire strait. If I was not able to create the 30th seal within the 4 minuets maximum, then even God will not able to save me from going to underworld. Bang bang bang. One after another, I kept getting attacked every second. Its attacks are so swift that it is not giving me even second of time. If I had even second of time, that would be enough for me drink the potion bottle and increase the chance of my survival, but this bastard that is attacking me is not giving me a second. The 9 minuets of survivability had become even less, and seen that I started to circulate the energy of even more faster, that more than half of the veins on my head had already popped up and I started bleeding from nose, ears, and eyes. 15th, 16th, 17th, still the speed of my circulation is slower than the attacks of the hyenaman. Ashlyn is calling me to let her out, but I had not. I am getting an inkling in my mind that it is not the time to let out. I am getting pale and paler, but my shield never left my hands. I have put away my sword the moment after I killed the weaker 1-star elite, as I had known that to defend against the attacks of stronger hyenamen, I have to completely focus on my defense. As I taking its beating and getting injured, suddenly an idea came into my mind which will help increase the time of my survival by a minute or 2. The fire that had been covering my shield started to dissolve, and next movement, it started to appear on the shield. I had dissolved the fire cover from my legs as it had been no use, as the Hyman's speed is lot move faster than me, that even if I had used the rocket jump, it is easily able to catch up to, so it would be much better if I use the fire on my legs to cover my shield, as it will use me block some force that is injuring me every second. Soon my shield completely covered in fire and small swirls started to appear on the shield, but soon I had realized that my idea had the fatal flaw, and that is bearing the force of the attack. The swirls are bearing the direct force of the attack. Whenever the attacks land on my shield, it created a strong vibration, and that vibration immediately destroyed the swirls I have created. I had felt defeated and about to call back my fire from the shield and wanting to cover my hands full with the fire, another idea came at me. This idea is simple. Due to shield having the biggest size, why don't I create big swirls instead of small? Instead of creating small swirls, I could create big swirls which will be more robust than their fragile small counterparts. Though it will elevate half the problem I will have to solve with my mind power, which is tightly controlling the swirls and circulating the force and vibration equally amongst all the swirls across the shield. It will not only help to stop collapsing of the swirls, but will also help me eliminate at least 30% to 40% force of the attack that injures me. Though this idea may seem easy, it is extremely hard, as I will have to control all the swirls with my mind power and equally divide the force amongst the swirls. A simple mistake could damage my conscience, so I have to be very cautious. With that, immediately started to create the swirls, but just as I had created them, they would get destroyed. It kept happening for few times before noticing another problem, and that is I am creating the swirls one by one, but just as the swirls formed it would get destroyed. So not that to happen, I have to create all the swirls at the same time and control them expertly, they don't get destroyed by the force of vibration. Without wasting any time, I started to act on the new plan. I had planned to create 12 large swirls across the shield, but just as they had formed they got destroyed, but it was not because my plan was a failure, but due to my inability to create more than 10 swirls at a time, and also due to my control over them. I just have to try a little more. If it had been the safety of my apartment, I would have taken my time leisurely, but here I have to be successful within a few minutes. I continued to form the swirls but also circulated the supreme combat exercise at my limit, and probably that is why I was able to circulate till the 18th move of the supreme combat exercise, and now only need 4 more before I could create my 30th seal, thus creating my 3rd amethyst seal, which will give me my 3rd amethyst seal. Finally! I shouted in my mind as I finally able to create the swirls and barely stopping them from crashing, but it is consisting me quite dearly as all the swirls are connected with my mind power. I feel like Warhammer crashing on the head every time Hyenamen attack. Now I just have spin those swirls, so they could concentrate the fire on the shield and give me survivability of the extra few minutes. I started to spin them, and to my utter shock, not only it is concentrating the fire faster, but it is crushing force way better than I had expected. I had expected it to crush about the 30% to 40%, but to my utter shock, it's crushing half of the force, and swirls had not reached their limit yet. If I am not wrong, then it would at least help me crush about 60% of the force that attack had released, and that means I can survive more than 5 extra minutes more. Time passed, and 2 minutes later I had reached the 24th move of the 30th seal of Supreme Combat Exercise and started to build the force to crush the final barrier. Everything was going well when suddenly the Hyenaman stopped on its track and looked at me intently. "You are quite a cockroach, but that is also good. You have killed my best friend. I will not kill you first, but let you watch how we eat your friends alive before eating you alive with the special sauces that are brought from our homeland," said Grim Monster in a very slow tone. Hearing his slow voice, all the hairs on my body stood up, and I knew what I faced till now is nothing compared to what I will be facing right now. Chapter 455, Killing V. Just as it finished speaking, it leaped at me. This time its speed is 10 times faster than before. I paled seeing it coming at this speed. I paled as I know how much this attack will cost me. If it landed on my body, then the only outcome will be my death, and even if I am able to defend against it with my shield, my outcome will be bad. The force that attack will transmit to me will tear every part of my body, that I will become directly unconscious by it, just like the violet ape did when I attacked it with my power blast. Seeing him coming at me, I released all the momentum I am building to crack the final wall to create the 30th seal, but it was no use as the momentum hadn't been completely built, but I kept trying as I tilted my shield as fast as I can to defend against the extremely fast sword that is just a few inches from me. Bang! A loud bang rang out as the sword of the hyenaman crashed across my shield, and that moment time slowed down and I am able to everything happening to me in slow motion with crystal clear clarity. The first thing happened when its sword clashed across me is the fire that was covering my shield went puff. It did not even put up any resistance as it went puff. Puffing the fire on my shield, the force crashed across my fiery hands that were holding the shield, and the fire that covered my hands also went puff as its tsunami-like force crashed across my hands. After puffing away the fire from my hands, the tsunami of force directly crashed on my body like a bulldozer, and I felt my body is falling down like a rocket. That was just starting. As I am crashing toward the ground, the force that entered inside me begins to tearing and cracking every muscle and bone of my body. If not for developing a very high tolerance for pain from the poison training, I would have surely fainted after experiencing pain, and while I was experiencing the inhuman pain, I am also trying to breach the wall to create the 30th seal of the Supreme Combat exercise, but it was no use. Bang! I finally crashed on the ground with a bang. This bang nearly broke all the already cracked bones in my body. There had been never a single bone in my body that I had been broken by the crash. I could see the blood is coming out of every part of my body. There is no single place that is injured and blood isn't coming out of it. I could feel my brain wanting to turn my conscious off, save my trauma, but I resisted it as I know once I close my eyes, what I will experience after opening them will be worse than hell. I felt indignation, but I did not accept defeat as I continuously crashed across the wall to create the 30th seal. Crack, crack, bang. Finally, after much of my tries, there was finally a crack, and seeing that, I increased the momentum. The cracks kept spreading as I crashed across the wall and finally able to break it with a bang. It may look like a minute would have passed since the hyena man attacked me, but a barely 3 seconds had passed as I could still grim race monster standing on the air through my blurry bloodied eyes. The creation of the 30th seal started in my temple, and I started to provide mana to it. I started to work my refine engine as I had never before. I wanted to finish the creation of the 30th seal within second instead of minuets, so the creation of amethyst seal could start sooner, only then I will have slight chance to survive. It's good that monster core I have in my stomach is a monster of the master stage, and I was able to learn the desolation of it at will, so as long as I run my refinement engine faster, I will have all the energy I need to create the seals. I started to run my refinement engine using all the energy I have. I even closed my eyes and stopped looking at the grim race monster in the air just so I could give my all refining energy I will need for the creation of seal. My efforts seemed to be working as seal started to guzzle all the energy I've been provided and becoming complete with each second. Seconds passed by, and after God knows how many excruciating seconds later, the 30th seal is finally created. A moment after its creation completed, it started to give off the glow as refreshing energy started to spread all over my body. If it were the normal injuries, it would have been able to heal them, but I had received severe injuries that nearly all the bones of the body broke and splintered, and I am bleeding from every corner of my body. This trickle of energy would not be enough. Hell, this small amount of energy would not even able to 1% injuries of my body. To heal completely I will need the energy that was released by the amethyst seal. Only energy released from it could be able to make me better than new. Thud. As the 30th seal healing my body, I heard the sound of thud very close to me, only to see the grim race monster had landed beside me. Well, it's good you are not dead, otherwise taking revenge on your friends would not be enjoyable, it said as it took out the ropes from its storage bounded to my neck before it relaxedly walked toward the main battlefield. I felt humiliated as it bound the rope on my neck to drag me toward the battlefield. This sort of treatment could only be given to those who one considers so low that you would even deny the right to walk. I have never suffered such humiliation in my life before, and never ever given such humiliation to others, even to monster whom I consider the mindless beasts. Facing such humiliation, the killing intent me which had doused a little burned with even more fervor. But I did not do anything stupid. I stayed quiet while tracking the progress of the seal. The 30th seal finally stopped releasing the energy and moved toward the 10 small seals. First few seconds nothing happened, but after that 10 small seals started moving and they formed the circle and started spinning. As the 10 seals spin they created the vortex, and that vortex started to suck all the energy I have in me. This is the moment I have been waiting for, I thought as I started to run refinement engine as I never before. I haven't even cared if I already injured by getting even more injured. You know, I've even called some of my friends who are hunting nearby to enjoy the treat. They should be able to arrive in a few minutes, it said. I paled completely hearing what it said. Chapter 456 Killing 6. My already paled face had paled even more hearing he is calling even more friends of its. Even after creating the third amethyst seal I have zero confidence in beating it, and if he called even more of its friend, which will make my already dire condition even direr. I felt like a mountain had collapsed on me and I started to feel suffocated. I have never had a panic attack, but looking at my current condition, I am definitely having. Thinking nothing good will come from me now panicking, I started to forcefully calm myself, seeing I will become panic even more if I continued to think about it. I closed my eyes and put my all on the refining energy. I put all the fear, frustration, panic and everything else in refinement engine and started to refine it the berserk energy even more speedily. The amethyst seal is like a bottomless hole. No matter how much mana I feed to it, it is always less. Normally it took more than 10 minutes to me completely satiate the requirement for the amethyst seal. I kept refining and refining, I refined and feel it to the amethyst as much as I can, but it was never enough for it, it's just needed too much. It is understandable why it needs the mana hundreds of times more than normal seal. The seals not only make one's body stronger, they also provide soul energy, thus making a soul stronger. When it created, not only it will heal all my injuries, it will even boost me physically and mentally quite substantially. I have to say you humans are quite delicacy, giants, troll and other races couldn't be compared to you. The only thing that had a better taste to you than humans are elves, said Hyenaman. Hearing that my eyes flew open. Giants? Elves? Aren't those the races of legends and myths? I have never thought they could exist in reality. It's a pity that our province lord was not able to find any elvish world like those bastards from the Blood region. It said with the regret, while I became even more shocked hearing what it said. Though I was only able to understand only half of what it said, it is still enough for me to get ideas on what it is saying. Well, we are still lucky to then wretched from Leaf region who are stuck with the dirty trolls. Compared to the delicate and flavorful taste of you humans, those dirty trolls taste total putrid. It said as it dragged me carefreely. It's a good thing we have deviated quite far from where we were fighting. Now to go back to the battlefield with this speed would take at least a half an hour. Which is a good thing for me. With the speed I am feeding the mana to the seal, it will need me 2 to 3 minutes more. I closed my eyes again and did not listen to its chatter. I threw all my focus on refining the berserk energy so I could feed it to the amethyst seal. One of another second passed and they became minute, 1 minute became 2 and 2 became 3, and after 3 minutes, the spinning seal stopped taking mana and started fusing. The fusing process did not take more than 10 seconds, but it felt extremely long to me, but it was finally completely, and third amethyst seal reveals itself in full glory. The amethyst seal flew toward the other 2 seals and shined brightly. Just as it did, the amethyst smoke started to come out of it. The amethyst smoke is very cold, but its heaving power incomparable, as whichever part of my body passed through it will heal. I saw my bones started to reconnect and skin started to heal, and they are stronger than before. I slowly opened my eyes, only to see the monster is dragging me to a normal pace and did not sense any abnormality. Seeing that, I heaved a sigh of relief and also marveled at the supreme combat exercise. The supreme combat exercise is the stealthiest method I've ever seen. Even a cult method when activated others could clearly sense, but not the supreme combat exercise. It is stealthiest as it did not produce any fluctuation, even if when it heals, it muted the sound of healing other. If it had been potions on its place, it would have easily able to sense sound to my bones reconnecting, but not with the supreme combat exercise. This exercise is truly magical that not even occult methods compare to it some way. With my body healing rapidly, I stealthily moved my hands towards my sword, which was hanging by my waist. For the shield, I've lost it when I crashed on the ground. The monster is walking normally while talking sometimes, but it had never once looked back at me as if not caring about me running away. Seeing the arrogance of the grim race monster, they always look down on us human, thinking us lowly race which can only be their food. It's just had been a few seconds since the amethyst seal started to heal me, but seeing the extent of my injuries, it will probably take a minute before they are completely healed. Seconds passed by and soon a whole minute had passed. All the injuries on my body had been completely healed. Not only that, the amethyst seal had only given me quite a high boost in the soul and physique. I could feel the power coursing through every cell of my body. Seeing it as time, I flayed my legs and used my other hand to pull the rope with all my strength at the same time, and my plan worked. With sudden movement the rope receded from the monster hand and I used that movement to remove the rope off my neck. If I had tried to remove the rope first, it would have alerted it. The rope is artifact which had bounded to my neck quite tightly. As long as I make the movements, it will notice it and inject more power to make it even tighter, which will be very hard for. So, first I had to take the rope off its hands so it can't control it if it is human in its place. This had been very difficult. We may be overconfident, but we still keep little vigilant toward the enemy, but not this grim race monsters. They never take us, humans, seriously. That is why despite having a high number, they have never able to completely beat us from the start. From the first time they have attacked, they have nearly annihilated us and controlled the 80% of this world, but we kept fighting them and pushing them back little by little, and finally 3,000 years ago, we have taken back whatever continents they were controlling and constricted them to the grim zones. It looked at me silently just like it did earlier, but this time it looked a lot angrier. Its eyes had become completely red and very fearful fluctuations started to release from the body. I had thought it will have a cult method, but that was merely a guess which I desperately wished will not come true. But now, sensing the fearful fluctuation coming out of its body and skyrocketed killing intent it is radiating, my fear had come true. I will kill you. Chapter 457 Killing 7. I will kill you. It shouted and came at me. Its speed was faster than ever before. It had become completely blur, and before I know it I saw its sword coming at my neck. I had expected it make such move, and without waiting, I swung my sword to counter it, though the speed and might of my sword lower than it, but it was still able to counter it. Clank. Pooh. Thud thud thud. A loud clank rang out and immense force traveled inside me, bypassing the passing through the defense of my fire layer as force and occult energy traveled inside me, but most of it was blocked by the layers of rule power created by me Ashlyn, but some of it still able to seep inside me, injuring my internals and making me vomit blood from the mouth. This move is very powerful. If not for me creating the third amethyst seal, I would be directly killed by this move without surviving. Though I had survived, I still got seriously injured, and this very moment, the force and occult energy is now rampaging my body, injuring me further. It got surprised by me surviving its attack, but did not give me even second of rest as it attacked while I was still taking the steps back to manage the force. Clank. Another clash, and this time it was stronger than earlier, and this time I saw the real power of the occult energy. The occult energy again entered my body and merged with existing energy that was already rampaging inside. With occult energies merging, they created a terrifying effect. The occult energy which was just injuring me like normal occult energy had turned slight cold, and suddenly it started to decay my body. Whenever that occult energy would be passed, it would decay that part of my body. Due to it, I started to vomit gray blood which had horrifying smell and bits and pieces of flesh inside it. It was a good thing I had a strong body which strengthened by the furnacing effect of body cleansing exercise, the seals of supreme combat exercise, and not to forget the miracle fruits I ate. It all made my body quite resilient. It may be not as strong as the grim race monsters, but the resiliency of my body definitely could catch up to the grim race monster of the same level as me. With all that and rule power's protection of me and Ashlyn, I was able to keep most of the decaying type occult energy at bay. If Leo or Rachel at my place, who are 2 levels higher than me, their whole body would have decayed within the minute. Clank clank clank. It is getting harder and harder for me to keeping the energy at bay. With every attack the more energy will attack me. It is right to say that the occult energy had already crossed the threshold. Even if it stopped attacking, my death is guaranteed, as the dam of rule powers we have created to keep the occult energy at bay had started to break, and more occult energy started to spread inside me. The most terrifying this, I am not feeling any pain. this decayed type of occult energy had even muted the pain that force gave me. If I had been feeling pain, I would have something to detract from what is happening in my body, and it would have to help me channel the supreme combat exercise. With so much occult energy in my body, I will definitely dead, as no normal potion could heal my body. The only hope I have is that potion. If what Jim had said right, then only that potion will have the chance to heal my current injuries. But what use of that potion having when I didn't have the chance to use it in this flurry of attacks? His attacks just about to clash against my sword when the grim race monster stopped. Fuck. I have wasted another food in my rage. The grim race monster cursed loudly at it. Looked my condition. Due to the decaying energy, my body had now turned sickly gray. If my little sister to look at me right now, she would become horrified. Occult energies had been compared to rule powers, and their effects are very strength. Till now I have never experienced the real power occult method. Today is my first time, and it is as terrifying as they say. You bastard, why do you have to attack me and anger me? Now I can eat you with you having all the energy rampaging your body. It said angrily and punched at me suddenly. Bang. Crack. Poo-poo. Its punch was so sudden and I didn't have the chance to counter. When it landed on my chest, I felt like I had been hit by the sledgehammer. The bones of chest broke and I vomited gray and red blood before crashing on the ground loudly. Because of you, I have lost one good lunch. You bastards are already less as it is, and now with my friends, those 4 bastards won't be enough to fill our stomach. It grumbled loudly as it looked at me with the hate and anger before kicking me strongly. It must be feeling really hungry to behave like this. I have never seen any other grim race monster to behave like Hyenaman. It looked like it had gone crazy due to hunger it is feeling. It kept shouting nonsense and kicking me in his crazy behavior, but all the time it would mention eating. I now really wish to eat your family alive just to torture you, bastard. It shouted and kicked me again. Extreme killing intent arose from me. I don't mind if anyone curses me in the worst language. I would even smile hearing that curse, but when someone mentioned my family, that was my limit. Extreme killing intent started to bubble inside me, and suddenly I found everything becoming clear in front of me. I could see more clearly, I could hear more clearly, and the killing intent I am sensing from the hyena man also became clear. I quickly looked inside my source only to see the bloody red ribbon is increasing in size and started to get closer and closer to the source, not even fearing the silver red feather which had been suppressed under. The ribbon kept getting bigger and bigger until finally, it increased 40% in size, and now it is sending aura similar to that of the silvery red feather. I am shocked seeing this. My comprehension of the killing rule was a lot behind the Sunfire rule, but now it had become equal to the Sunfire rule, just step away from advancing into mid-level of basic grade. When I think about how much it had advanced so greatly, I suddenly remember some words which I heard in the memories I saw in White Axe. The fastest way to increase the comprehension of killing rule is to kill, and that is what I had been doing in this past month constantly. So it's no wonder as the spark lit I had made huge advancement in it, as I had already collected all the accumulation I had needed while killing the grim race monsters this past month. Chapter 458 Killing 8 Final. The red ribbon started to shine brightly on the source, and next moment Ashland's source appeared above my source, in which the blood light started to transmit. I quickly concentrate on the Ashley end source and saw the blood light releasing from it and falling on the blood ribbon in Ashland's source. Rule imprinting. I quickly understood what is happening. The new comprehension of that I had gained is now imprinting in Ashland's source. It kept happening for a few moments until the blood ribbon in the Ashley end source had become an exact copy of the bloody ribbon in my source. Ashland can find the force and occult energy, I said to Ashland. Before I have no way against the force and occult energy that is tearing my body apart, but now with Mu rule power advancing, Ashland could easily confine all the foreign energy rampaging in the body without needing my help. As for extinguishing this energy, it will take time, which can be only done after I finish this bastard. With having 2 peak second level rule powers that are a step away from reaching the middle level of the basic stage, I have now had enough power to finish this bastard. Fuck, it hurts. I shouted in my suddenly. Ashland had now just finished confining all the decayed occult energy which had been numbing the pain I am feeling, and now that Ashland had confined all the energy, the pain had come back in the full force. Bearing the pain, I started to make preparation for my attack as the hyena man is still cursing me crazily. It would have been really nice if half the bones of my body had not been broken and not heavily injured I would have a much easier time defeating this bastard. Beggar can't be choosers. I have returned from the death's door and now I have to send this bastard to the underworld. I thought and quickly got up while taking another totem artifact from my storage. My gait was a little unstable but I still able to stand through the broken bones. Hun! Bastard, you still have the energy to stand up? This time I will surely kill you for sure that even your soul would not dare to return. It said and attacked me. I wanted to reply to it as well but earlier, it had kicked my jaw so strongly that it now lay in pieces. Its attack came at me and I also swung my sword at it, though my hands are a little shaking and I am feeling extreme pain, the strength in my unmistakable. Clank. A loud clank rang out as our weapons clashed, but this time nor did I take any step back nor force assaulted my body. All the force and occult energy came at me was quickly confined by Ashlyn. It looked extremely shocked and wanted to say something but it did not have the chance as my sword streaked toward it and it had to defend. Clank. Thud thud. This time our weapons clashed, it had to steps back and drop of blood could be seen streaking from it. Basta Poochie. It just had opened its mouth to curse at me when it found my sword had embedded in his heart. One peak second level rule is nothing but when they merge together, they give the power that is way beyond, especially when one rule power is of offensive type while other is of sensory or half-sensory. You may able to kill me but you will not able to kill my friends who will be arriving any second. Hee hee. It said and started to laugh but suddenly became stopped as I pumped energy of killing rule to immobile it. Friend? I am not worried, I had just used only the power of my killing rule to kill it, I had not used my swirling armor which now became even stronger with the advancement of killing rule. So the first thing I did after beating on the hyenaman is to take out all 5 runic discs I have placed in on the grim race monster. It had wanted to eat my family if I didn't let experience worse agony in its life then I wouldn't be Michael and what better way could be to make it feel worst agony than let experience harnessing of 5 runic discs. It looked terrified when it saw me placing the 5 runic disc on it, I smiled at its terrified face and activated all the 5 runic discs together. Ah! It started to scream loudly just as I activated the 5 runic discs. It screamed and very loud and wretched enough to arouse a pity in the heart of Heartless. I hear it screaming for a few seconds before putting a gag on its face as they were too loud. The condition of my injuries are very worse and even after confining all the energy, it will take quite a time to heal my injuries, that is why I took out the small bottle of daffodil's honey and drank it. As for drinking that potion, that is absolute no. That potion could only be drunk when I really at death's door and current condition didn't satisfy me being at the death's door. Choo-choo. Just as I finished drinking 4 drops of daffodil honey, Ashlyn came out of me started demanding, smiling I let her have a single drop. She had been desperately wanting to come to help but I had stopped her come out as I know Ashlyn was really incapable of defeating it but now with my rule power being advanced, she can easily defeat the opponent as hyenaman but there is no one for left to fight. The daffodil's honey worked really fast, the grayness covering my skin disappeared and my bones and skin started healing rapidly. Ting ting ting. A minute later all the runic disc rang out as they finished harvesting the grim race monster and I was about to pick them up when I sensed something and a few minutes later 4 hyenamen came out of black grass. All 4 of them were 1-star elite with 2 of them having similar aura the husk of hyenamen that I had just killed. Did you kill Eco? Asked the leader in anger seeing the husk at my feet. Yes. I said loudly without fearing, with my strength increased I have no fear against these 4 hyenamen that had arrived. You will pay for this, said the leader and 4 of the hyenamen leaped at me but before I could respond Ashlyn flew from my shoulder before I could stop her. Choo-choo-choo. She barely got any chance to fight since we have come to this grim battlefield. Ash. I wanted to stop but stopped midway, she now had enough power to beat 4 enemies. And even if she wasn't able to, I am standing here ready help any time she needed. You will pay for this human. A faint sound could be heard as the hyenaman covered in white mist disappeared from my eyes leaving behind bloody gash on my chest. As Ashlyn did a better job than I expected to defeat 4 Grim Race Monster, but at last moment when 3 Grim Race Monster killed by Ashlyn, the leader of the group used weird occult skill that increased its power explosively. I tried to stop, but it had become too strong using that weird occult skill that it even left blood gash on my chest. "Let's harvest this bastard, quickly leave," I said to Ashlyn as I started to place the runic disc on their chest. Chapter 459 Leveling Up. Today is the day when they will connect to the Ephirian ruin. The outpost is buzzing with this news, and nearly half the people of the outpost going to enter the ruin. There will be millions of people going to enter the ruin from the different outposts that are spread across the continents, and these are numbers of humans. The grim monsters that will be going to enter the ruin will be 3 to 4 times greater than that. It will be going to be absolute mayhem with these millions of beings present. I will not only have to fight those from the foreign race but also from the foreign race. In the past month, I had made all the arrangements I need to make to go to the Ephirian ruins and even added some more things when they send the notice of telling that this time Ephirian ruin will stay open 58 days instead of the usual 35 to 40 days like previous 3 times. That is about double time than the previous times, and that made things even more dangerous. The less time means less death, and now that Ephirian ruin going to stay active for 58 days, the deaths will be higher this time. I couldn't help shudder when I thought about what I will going to be facing in the Ephirian ruin. The bloodbath will occur between many places and warlike battles would be fought between the humans and the grim race monster. It will be very frightening but also very exciting. I am not thinking these things with my imagination, these are solid facts that I read about the ruins. This time my target in the Ephirian ruin will be finding as much as precious materials for my totem making as I could. I am now the peak of the sergeant stage, and there is a very high chance that I will be going to level up to the master stage in the next session of body cleansing technique, which I will be going to perform in a few minutes. So, there will be going to be only the master stage before I reach the lieutenant stage. There I will be creating my totem artifact. For the quality of the totem artifact, it is very necessary for it to be forged with extremely precious materials, only then it will be continuously get advanced with its user. If one used the normal materials, then the totem artifact will not be able to keep up with the user's progress. In my team, everyone is at lieutenant stage including the twins who leveled up to lieutenant stage 2 days ago. They could have leveled up to lieutenant stage months ago, but they have been intentionally holding back to purify their mana to 95%. With high-level materials, one also needs to have high purity mana to refine the perfect totem artifact, and it is said having 95% mana before leveling up to the lieutenant stage is very good. My whole team is going to enter the Ephirian ruin, including Rachel and Leo, who both were finally able to clear the 3rd guild challenge yesterday. Well, it is the only right thing they do, as just yesterday both of them were able to kill the 1-star elite with their own strength. I finally finished all my chores, and now it is time to do the thing that I was able to do yesterday. Due to my intense poison training, I had nearly accumulated all the miracle fruit energy I had needed. I just need a very small amount of it and I will be able to level up to the master stage. Entering the temperature room, I had set the poison to 100%. Today I want to take no chance. That is why I had decided to train in the 100% poison today, which is 10% more than yesterday. This is going to be very painful. I thought as I started to take a couple of breaths before I started performing body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise. Fuck. I coursed loudly as a thick layer of black-red poison had spread all over my body. It is extremely painful that I just want to use my rule power to vaporize every speck of it, but I controlled myself in doing that. This poison is very necessary, as from the help of it the miracle fruit energy in me would grow enough for it levels me up to the master stage. My speed is very fast, with me feeling extreme pain on every inch of my body. I have performed the 24 moves within 3 minutes and moving forward with the speed like never before. After creating the 3rd amethyst or they seal, my body had become strong enough to barely endure the effect of the poison, and seeing that I had started to increase the amount of poison in my training insane amount. Earlier I could not do that, as it would have made my body so numb that it was impossible for me to perform the technique, and it's also helped that with the constant training with the poison, my body had developed a small resistance against this poison, as this poison was hammered in every inch of my body by the furnace of body cleansing exercise. Soon I had reached 48th pose and my speed slowed down considerably. I have already gone through the 5 minor cleansings already, and I will go through the 6th cleansing to accumulate enough miracle fruit to level up to the master stage. I kept performing the body cleansing technique and reached the 60th pose, but I did not stop there as I continued performing, but tired expression could be clearly seen in my eyes. I continued performing and reached the 66th pose, which I had reached last night. I am now feeling extremely tired and just want to close my eyes and sleep, but I still continue as I looked at the energy of the miracle fruit energy in my body, which is not enough of level me up. I will still need to feed it some before it would able to help me level up. 67th, 68th, 69th, 70th, just as I reached the pose, I found that barrier that is stopping me from creating the 31st seal of Supreme Combat exercise collapsed, and the creation of the 31st seal started in my temple. But the weird thing is, I was not even trying in the Supreme Combat exercise, I was just circulating it normally as most of my focus was on the body cleansing exercise. I furiously started to refine the berserk energy to feed it to the seal, so it could provide me small energy which could help me performing a couple more move of body cleansing exercise. A minute later, I found a trickle of cool energy spreading in my body, which relieved me little from the furnace of body cleansing exercise as I am able to make it to the 58th pose. At 58th pose, I had felt that I had accumulated enough energy to break it to the master stage, but I still continue performing the poses as at the 72nd pose. I will go through another minor cleansing. Thud. Finally, I able to reach the 72nd pose and continue performing it fully before falling on the ground with a thud as my body getting cleansed and miracle fruit energy started rampaging my body to crush all the barriers of Ashland bloodline and level me up to the master stage. Chapter 460 Inetail level of master stage. I am in heaven. On one side my body is getting cleansed and on the other side miracle fruit energy started to crash all the barriers that come across it to make me level up to the initial level of master stage. Seeing such progress, I did not mind the pungent smell that is coming out of me as all my focus in on the energy of miracle fruit that is breaking all the barriers. Hun. Finally, the energy of the miracle fruit broke the last barrier and I am about to start level up when suddenly my refinement engine started to shine and it stopped the miracle fruit energy from leveling me up by creating a barrier. What the fuck? I cursed inside my mind loudly, seeing that, till now the refinement engine never come between my leveling up, but it is the first time it is behaving like that. Right. How can I forget? When I first read about this refinement engine, I have read the multiple comments from many people that this engine creates some sorts of the barrier when breaking through the master stage, and that barrier is so hard that no one able to overcome it. Others were not able to overcome it. That does not mean I will not overcome it, I thought, and started to use my all to break the barrier. It was nothing at first, not even slight flicker, but I kept continuously crashing against it with each crash of mine stronger than before. I made the energy of miracle fruit crashed against it, merging my soul power, will power into it with only thought in mind, and that is to level up. The Epherian ruin going to be extremely dangerous and people like us would be at the lowest rung. With my current power, I could only defeat the slightly stronger 1-star elite. In front of the strong super elite, I am nothing. Just yesterday I had challenged the guild challenge, wanting to defeat the 4th challenger, but I had failed to defeat it despite fighting it till the time limit. I can only make the draw with the 4th challenger while the twins had defeated the challenge. I am really jealous of the twins' reward. They have received an amazing reward that makes them stronger every day. I wish I had received the reward the same as them. I just want to level up to the master stage, so I could gain the power to defeat the 4th challenger, and also will have little more power of self-defense when I enter the Epherian ruin. Crack. After so much of trying, a small crack finally appeared on the barrier, and seeing that I upped my efforts even more. Crack, 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 bang. More and more cracks kept forming until there was no part of the barrier which wasn't filled with the cracks, and with my last crash, the barrier blast apart. The miracle energy did not waste time and divided into two as started spreading into Ashland on me as it started to level me up the master stage, but my focus was not on that. My focus is on my refinement engine. It had lightened up so brightly that I wasn't able to see what is happening. The only thing I can see that it is sucking shitload berserk energy. It is literally sucking off the berserk energy out of monster core in my stomach, and that monster core is evaporating at the very swift speed. I have completely lost control over my refinement engine and now became a mere spectator. First, when I constructed this refinement engine, I thought it is a special one, but when I come to Westblood I have come to know that there is no end to the analog-type refinement engine which I considered special. If not for its ability to refine the berserk energy which had put it in the same category of refinement engine as the ones used by the super elites, I would have thought I was fooled by the elegant words which had made me construct this refinement it. First was its ability to refine the berserk energy, and now this sudden change. This refinement engine getting weirder and weirder. After seeing my refinement engine's ability to refine the berserk energy, I have done quite a research on the refinement engine and never read or heard the refinement engine making a big change in the master stage. In the knight stage, the big change only happens when one level up from the lieutenant stage, but clearly my refinement engine is changing at the master stage. And the worst thing is I don't know if this change is either good or bad. I hope it is good, as I have many times heard many refinement engines crumble apart for no obvious for many reasons when they go through the big change. The only thing making me relive that whatever is happening to the refinement engine seems safe, there is no instability that could be seen in it. Soon I notice that the monster core from which my refining engine refining energy from seeming like it will evaporate soon, seeing that I quickly take out the monster core of Master Monster and ate it in a single gulp. Usually, I only ate 1/4 of the monster core, but seeing how speedily it is guzzling the berserk energy, 1/4 part of the core won't be enough for it. Right after me eating the monster core, the speed of refining increased even more, and the monster core I just ate started to evaporate at the visible speed. Time passed and soon more than 5 passed and there is barely any monster core left in my stomach, and seeing that I was about to eat another more when I found the light on me refinement engine dim out and its refinement speed also started to slow down a little. Gasp. A gasp came out of my mouth when I looked refinement engine. Not only its size had changed but also all over it a web of thin glass veins which made my refinement engine looked very pretty. Choo choo choo. I was just admiring the refinement engine when I heard the loud angry chirp of Ashlyn, saying she needed energy for imprinting of seals of supreme combat exercise. Shit. I totally forget about that. It's a good thing my level up had only reached halfway. Gasp. Just as I started to run my refinement engine, I found that running it became 5 times more difficult than before, and I was about to curse loudly when I saw that its speed of refining energy had become 5 times faster than before, which made me gasp in astonishment. I quickly ate 1/4 part of monster core and started refining the mana, and in just 3 minutes, I was able to refine all the mana Ashlyn needs. The refinement engine is really amazing, I thought as I watched myself leveling up, tracking every change that is happening in my body. Time passed by and after 10 minutes later everything in my body calmed down as I had finally reached the initial level of master stage.